So a friend of mine, who's a wonderful poet, Amanda Moore, was telling me about this article by Jericho Brown where he created this invention called a duplex. And the way he did it was he cut up his old poems that he was not happy with. And he cut them up, first of all, he cut them into a lot of lines. And then he added the constraint of the lines had to be either 9 or 11 syllables to sort of make it smaller number of lines. And then from those lines, he made new poems. And I decided, God, I'd love to cut up some of those old poems of mine that never worked. And I've been writing for years, and I have a lot of old poems that didn't work. And so I started actually physically printing out all the poems and cutting them up. But then that was a lot of wasted paper. So I just started selecting the lines and making them into one big poem. And now I'm just cutting up a poem of random lines, and then I make them into these sonnets like they're not exactly like Jericho Brown's. Jericho Brown's are more of a ghazal where each line plays off the line before it. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I either can't or don't want to do that. So mine just turn out to be a sort of random collection of lines. And this beautiful dish that I'm cutting them into is a ceramic platter by Ashwini Bhatt, a fabulous sculptor. And I feel like it adds a certain energy to the process that I like. And then a friend of mine, Deborah, told me about these fabulous Post-it boards. They're just like a big reverse Post-it. And after I cut up these lines, I could take them and just sort of put them in their random order on these boards. As you can see, I already have quite a few of these. I started with one, and then I have one that I actually work with to make the poem. And then I've already got about 6 of these, and so I thought I would just read one that I like, which is right here, actually. Okay. You ready? It's called, he calls his duplexes. I'm sort of thinking of calling mine looseplexes because they're looser than his, but I don't know. But this is number 18. And the first one that I started with, I started to type number 3, and instead of pressing the shift bar, I didn't, and it came out as 31, or number 1 I was trying to do. And the number sign is above the 3, and I forgot to press the shift bar, so it came out as duplex 31. So I thought, well, I have to write at least 31 of these, and then I just started randomly numbering them. So this is number 18. Not into darkness forever, no. The light glides over the golden gate. Do you love him? And I said yes. And she said, children, defecation, and we went inside. Small star-shaped blossoms falling onto the waves. Daughter and granddaughter and cousin and niece. No falling, no verbing, no noun, nothing. What is this feeling that tells me now? World where the lion lies down with the Xbox, with the spelling of my name, my date of birth, facts. Toss them on the lawn and lock the door to crystallize, hard and bright and supercharged. Breathe their smell. Lilac, lilac, lilac. Not into darkness forever, no. So that's an example of one.
Do you feel like the narrative that tells is drastically different from the original?
First of all, there is no original because this is probably 8 or 10 lines from 8 or 10 different poems. Wow. So I feel like, yeah, the wonderful thing about this process is that it completely introduces the element of the unexpected. You know, you take some line that wasn't working next to its dumb line that you put there because it made sense to you, and you put it against a line that, like, doesn't make sense at all. Like, toss them on the lawn and lock the door to crystallize, hard and bright and supercharged were from 2 completely different poems. I mean, I remember their context, and they weren't working where they were, but I feel like they work juxtaposed against each other just by introducing a kind of element of surprise. So anyway, I feel like for me, it's been, first of all, cutting up the old poems, so much fun. I just love that. And then making something new out of them, that's unexpected. I really am just really enjoying the process.
So is the placement of this random, or are you actually like, are you designing
I'm
this?
designing. Yeah, no, it's not random. I'm kind like a line. The first line will give me an idea, or I'll have an idea about the poem that I was trying to write, and I'll take a line from that, and I start with that. Like this, for example, this one is. Should we do one more?
Sure, let's do one more.
Okay, so this one was about in 2000. A lot of these poems right here happen to be from 2008, which was a period in which I was writing every day. So I have a lot of bad poems from 2008, probably about 364. And it was a time that I went to New York because my oldest daughter was having a lot of emotional issues, and I've tried to write about that and failed. And but this poem, the first line of this came from that poem, and then I don't think anything else actually is from that poem, but except maybe the last line. The goldfinches arrived. I flew to New York. A second-hand store of dubious edges, unforeseen drops. Another black, bleak, reconstructed while we sleep, something awry. Cruel hope that glitters like pyrite. Metallic smell of rain on asphalt. Her furniture turned to a heap of splinters. No degrees. There is hope and there is no hope. Grief flings its implacable lasso off the edge of the world where you will be lost. Dante's hell, where is it? How much does it weigh? Fireworks bloom damply from the river, reluctant to give up on the bent, the broken. Fear that she is totally lost and may not. So I don't know if that's a successful poem, but it's a lot better than the poem it's originally from. And I don't know, there's something about it I really like. Anyway, I'm having a wonderful time. So thank you for doing this, Tully.